Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
U.S. anti-ship missile Nemesis deployed for Balikatan 2025. PMA senior cadets complete successful training at Pag-asa Island. PVOX reports increased seismic activity at Bulusan Volcano. Dollar job fairs have over 3,500 land jobs in 2025.
Good day everyone, as well as our troops at Camp Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. Today is Tuesday, April 22, and we will bring you the latest news from the armed forces and other information around the Philippines. In behalf of Rob Suzon, this is Jhai Simbajon for AFP Community News. DWDD Armed Forces News. And the Armed Forces of the Philippines confirmed that the Nemesis will be showcased in the Philippine-U.S. Balikatan Exercises 2025. The Nemesis is a high-mobile coastal anti-ship missile with the ability to strike hostile surface vessels from land-based positions. Aside from the Nemesis, the U.S. Army's mid-range capability missile system will also be used in the Balikatan exercise. After the Balikatan exercise, the Nemesis is expected to stay in the country for future trainings. DWDD Armed Forces News. And senior cadets from the Philippine Military Academy have successfully conducted their inaugural joint field training exercise at Pag-asa Island. The landmark training provided cadets with a first-hand experience of operating at the front lines of a potential geopolitical flashpoint, deepening their understanding of national defense and maritime security. The activity is part of a broader joint field training exercise running from April 12 to 26. The exercise reflects the Academy's commitment to producing well-rounded, mission-ready future officers prepared to serve in all operational environments. DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio. For other updates, let us hear the details about Philippine Fleet welcomes Cyclab Laya class of 2025 and NOB Subic Zambales. Go ahead, Shaira.
Base in Subic, Zambales. The cadets were accompanied by Brigadier General Ramon Flores, the PMA Commandant of Cadets, who was honored with side boys. The highlight of the visit was an engagement between PMA Cyclab Laya class of 2025 and Philippine Fleet Commander Rear Admiral Joe Anthony Orbe. Rear Admiral Orbe led an interactive discussion with the cadets, sharing invaluable insights from his leadership journey. The visit also provided the cadets with invaluable insights as they prepare for their future roles in the Armed Forces of the Philippines. This is Shai Rivera reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaira.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the Armed Forces of the Philippines has confirmed that the decommissioned BRP Miguel Malvar will serve as a naval target for this year's maritime strike exercises. The Mars strike drills are scheduled to culminate in May 25, showcasing enhanced joint maritime strike capabilities between the Philippines and the United States. Leading the exercise will be the BRP Antonio Luna, a guided missile frigate of the Philippine Navy, which will employ its LIG and Next 1 Sea-Star anti-ship missiles during the live fire exercise. This year's Mars strike underscores the growing interoperability between allied forces and highlights the commitment of both nations to regional security and maritime defense.
DWDD Armed Forces Forces News.
And the Police Regional Office 2 recovered a cache of firearms and explosives hidden by the New People's Army rebels in Cagayan following a tip-off from concerned citizens. The operation led to the recovery of various ammunition, grenade rounds, an M203 grenade launcher, subversive documents, and other combat materials. All items have been documented and turned over to the Alcala Police Station for proper disposition, and PR2 Regional Director Brigadier General Antonio Maralag Jr. commended the success of the operation and highlighted the importance of continued collaboration between law enforcement and the community.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from JR about Masaligan troopers boost reintegration support for friends rescued in Sagay, Negros Occidental. JR?
The Masaligan Troopers Battalion, in collaboration with the Department of Social Welfare and Development Region 6, boosts the reintegration support for friends rescued in Barangay Bato, Sagay City, Negros Occidental. The 79th Infantry Battalion facilitated the application process for the first batch of participants for the Social Welfare and Development Indicator. The SWADI is a tool used to assess the well-being and progress of FRs in their transition to peace and productive civilian lives. Through this initiative, the 79th Infantry Battalion ensured that rescued individuals under their care received the necessary social support and properly evaluated for continuous intervention and assistance from government agency. This is JR reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, JR.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the Naval Forces Western Mindanao spearheaded a coastal cleanup and sea turtle hatching release along the shores of Baguan Island. The cleanup targeted marine debris and plastic waste to help preserve the island's delicate ecosystem. One of the main highlights of the activity was the release of 500 baby sea turtles back into the wild. Baguan Island is a protected area and an important nesting site for marine turtles, particularly the endangered green sea turtle.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And for our national news,
DWDD National News.
the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology has reported increased seismic activity at Bulusan Volcano in Sorsogon. In an advisory issued Monday night, PVBOX recorded a total of 94 volcanic earthquakes in the area. Of these total, 90 were weak and shallow volcanic tectonic quakes, while 4 were low-frequency volcanic earthquakes. Although alert level 0 or normal remains in effect, PVOX cautioned the public about the possibility of sudden stream-driven or phreatic eruptions which can occur without warning.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear a report on the ground about 70th Infantry Battalion leads community effort in Bulacan for school revitalization under Balikatan 2025. Go on for the details, Joanne.
The 70th Infantry Matapat at Matatag Battalion participated in the groundbreaking ceremony for the renovation of 3 classrooms and 1 admin building at Pulong Sampaloc Elementary School in Barangay Pulong Sampaloc, Bulacan. This project is part of the Engineering Civic Action Project in connection with Balikatan Exercise 40-2025 in partnership with the 522nd Engineering Construction Battalion, the 356th Expeditionary Civil Engineer Group, the local government unit, and the Department of Education. The activity aims to enhance community infrastructure, provide humanitarian assistance, and foster stronger military cooperation between the Philippines and the United States. This initiative reflects the Armed Forces of the Philippines' commitment to nation building and public service, underscoring the AFP's dedication to community support and strengthen the Philippine and U.S. cooperation. This is John Sagok reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne.
DWDD National News.
And the Department of Labor and Employment has successfully facilitated the employment of 3,572 job seekers through 128 job fairs conducted nationwide from January to early April this year. In its statement, Dolly revealed that over 244,000 job vacancies were offered by 2,253 employers across various industries. The job fairs were held in line with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s directive to bring government services closer to the people.
DWDD National News.
And the Commission on Elections is set to deliver around 3,500 bundles of official printed ballots to the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao for 2025 national and local elections. The official ballots, which are packed and sealed at the Comelec Hub in Santa Rosa, Laguna, were loaded to different container vans. This is the first batch of official ballots that will be deployed. The Comelec is set to distribute the other batches of official printed ballots in other regions like Region 13 or Caraga, Region 12 or Sorsogon, Batanes, and others in the coming days.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
From Iloilo, we have a report coming in from Mike about anti-insurgency symposium successfully conducted in Gimbal. Mike?
Yes, the 61st Infantry Battalion successfully conducted Insurgency Awareness Symposium held at Barangay Badyang, Sipitan, Gimbal, Iloilo. The 70 youth participants from various municipalities including San Joaquin, Gimbal, Tigbawan, Villa, and Fabia attended the symposium. One of the highlights of the event was a compelling testimony from the former rebel, known as alias Kenkin, who shared her personal journey and the importance of peace and national unity. The 61st Infantry Battalion emphasized its unwavering commitment for the youth empowerment and community engagement as vital components in preventing insurgency and promoting a sustainable peace in the region. This is Mike reporting for AFP Community News, 1FP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mike.
DWDD National News.
And the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation has extended its coverage to include common summer-related illnesses amid rising temperature across the country. PhilHealth announced that it will cover illnesses such as heat stroke, heat fatigue, severe dehydration, chickenpox, and other heat-related conditions. The agency also reminded the public that members and their dependents can avail of the outpatient emergency care benefit package at any PhilHealth accredited hospitals from level 1 to level 3.
DWDD National News.
And the Department of Agriculture is set to issue notices to explain the rise on pork retailers who failed to comply with the maximum suggested retail price. According to reports, only 20% or 1 in every 5 retailers have followed the mandated pricing since it was implemented in March 10, 2025. DA Assistant Secretary Genevieve Guevara said some vendors claimed non-compliance was due to pricing dictated by dealers and delivery costs. The agency continues to monitor retail prices and reminds vendors to adhere to the set guidelines to ensure affordable public prices for consumers.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear more from Lenore about the 35th Infantry Battalion mediates long-standing family feud in Barangay Nadag, Paticos, Sulu. Lenore?
The 35th Infantry Battalion successfully mediated a 30-year-long conflict between two families in Barangay Danag, Paticul. The long-standing feud between the Juma family at Barangay Budbunga, Talipao and the Laha family of Barangay Danag, Paticul was formally settled through the assistance of military personnel from the 35th Infantry Battalion. This peaceful resolution marks a significant milestone in the Army's efforts to foster unity and reconciliation in conflict-affected areas. The settlement underscores the unwavering commitment of the 35th Infantry Battalion and its partners to promote peace, stability, and community development across the province of Sulu. This is Leonor Tanap reporting for AFP Community News, 1AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Leonor.
DWDD National News.
And the Philippines is battling a rise in avian influenza with 3 active H5N1 outbreaks reported across Tarlac, Pampanga, and Nueva Ecija. A broiler breeder from a farm in Leyte also reported the loss of 4,475 birds from a flock of 63,259 due to an outbreak. This year, the disease has spread to 99 municipalities including Pampanga, Kalinga, Nueva Ecija, Bataan, and Leyte. The German government continues to assist the Philippines in addressing the crisis. Meanwhile, the Food and Agriculture Organization has issued a regional alert warning that ongoing outbreaks may lead to higher production costs, rising consumer prices, and potential supply shortages.
DWDD National News.
And the Department of Migrant Workers has assured overseas Filipino workers who were victims of the Balikbayan Back scam that they will receive financial assistance. The DMW announced that victims will be given 30,000 pesos in cash, including those who experienced loss, abandonment, or extraordinary delays in the delivery of their boxes. The agency has released guidelines for providing this financial support through its Action Fund. The one-time aid will be granted upon submission of complete and compliant documentary requirements.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear more from Gina about 20th Infantry Battalion support scholar screening in Las Navas, Northern Samar. Gina?
The 20th Infantry Battalion proudly supported the successful conduct of the pre-screening and examination for the Monarch Scholarship Foundation Incorporated held in Las Navas, Northern Samar. A total of 52 aspiring scholars participated in the screening, where qualified applicants who passed the evaluation process will be granted scholarships. Successful scholars will undergo a 2-year training program in heavy equipment servicing NC2 and industrial office management, equipping them both technical and administrative skills essential for future employment opportunities. The 20IB reaffirmed its commitment by actively assisting Monarch personnel, ensuring the smooth, safe, and well-organized execution of the event. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD National News.
And the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration has announced that the country may face even hotter days with a heat index expected to peak by May. Authorities can warn that heat cramps and exhaustion are likely under such conditions, while heat stroke is probable with prolonged exposure. The public is advised to constantly monitor weather updates and heat advisories to prevent health risks related to extreme heat.
DWDD National News.
And the Land Bank of the Philippines has reported a record surge in digital transactions, reaching 162.18 million. These transactions totaled 3.38 trillion pesos, marking a 67% increase compared to 2023's 97.08 million transactions and a 38% rise in value from 2.45 trillion pesos. A key feature of the mobile banking application allows holders to transfer funds, pay bills, and invest in government securities online.
DWDD National News.
And for our final news, a permanent relocation site is needed as long-term solution for residents affected by the eruption of Canlaon volcano. This was stressed by Negros Occidental Vice Governor Jeffrey Ferrer, who said putting the residents living inside the volcano's danger zone in evacuation centers is only a band-aid solution. Canlaon remains under alert level 3 due to high volcanic unrest, with experts warning of potential hazardous eruptions. PHIVOX has recommended that communities within a 6-kilometer permanent danger zone be evacuated due to the threat of rockfalls, ashfall, and other volcanic hazards from the volcano.
DWDD National News.
And that's all for today's broadcast. So thank you for joining us, especially to our audience in our Facebook page, AFP Radio DWDD. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for more updates, same time, same station. Again, this is Jhai Simbajon for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.